Hello, if I ask you what is the floor of negative 2.3, most people will confidently say negative 2 and they would be wrong. But I am going to make sure you never fall into this trap again. So what is the floor function? The floor of x written with these brackets means the greatest integer that is less than or equal to x. Let me be clear, it is not the nearest integer and we are not rounding. It is just the one below this number, always below. Now think of it like this. You are standing on a number line and you are standing right here at negative 2.3, between negative 3 and negative 2. The floor function says look left, go to the nearest integer to your left, that is negative 3, not negative 2. The floor always goes towards left on the number line, never towards the right. Now let's build the muscle memory. Notice 3.98 is between 3 and 4. So the floor of 3.98 is 3. Similarly, the floor of minus 1.1 is minus 2 since it is between minus 2 and minus 1. But floor of minus 5 is minus 5 since it is an integer. Again, 4 is an integer, so the floor of 4 is 4. But for the square root of 10, we first find its value, which is nearly equal to 3.16. So its floor is 3 since it is between 3 and 4. Now let's find something more interesting. What is the floor of 47 over 5? To find this, we divide 47 by 5, which is 9.4. So the floor of 47 by 5 is 9. But notice what this really means. For any two integers n and k, floor of n over k tells you how many complete groups of k fit inside n. Similarly, to find 47 by 5, we find how many complete groups of 5 fit in 47. That is 9.4. So the floor is just 9. This is just integer division. This connection is why the floor function is so powerful. Now let's do a competition style problem and find the value of the given sum. It is the floor of square root of 1 plus floor of root 2 plus floor of root 3 all the way up to floor of root 100. But don't panic. We are not going to calculate all the 100 terms. Let's think something smart instead. So what is the smart approach? Now, when does the floor of root of n is equal to 1? That is when n is 1, 2 or 3. And when does it equal to? That is when n is 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8. And equal to 3. That is when n is 9, 10, 11 up to 15. And we keep going all the way up to when floor of root n equals 10. That is when n is equal to 100. Now here is the key. When floor of root of n equals 1, that happens for 3 values of n. So we add 1 plus 1 plus 1, that is just 1 times 3, which is 3. When floor of root of n is equal to 2, that happens for 5 values. So we are adding 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, which is 2 times 5, which is 10. Now do you see the pattern? When it equals to 3, there are 7 terms. So it is 3 times 7, which is 21. Now each value is multiplied by how many times it appears. Once you see this, the rest is just arithmetic. So I will quickly show you all the floors and the total we add every time. But for the last term, we have just 10. We have one number to count and we add only 10. So let's add everything up and the final sum is 625. So here is one thing I want you to remember from today. The floor function always rounds towards our left to negative infinity, not towards the right to 0. For positive numbers, that feels like rounding down. For negative numbers, it goes further left than we expect. If you get that right, you will never lose a point to this again. Next time, we will look at the ceiling function and some problems where floor and ceiling appear together, which is where things get really interesting. You can drop a comment if you want me to cover a specific topic. I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.